Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. We are back. And yeah, I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I'm not really spending time with my flock outside because of the fact I don't want to pass them any kind of germs, and I need to have a little bit of time to recover. So while the rest of the fam gets to go out there and hug on Nanaroo and pet the quail and play with the ducks and all that good stuff, I got to stare at them from my window because I've got some kind of weird, I don't know what this thing is, but anyway, doctor's been seen. They gave me some meds and I'm recovering. That's the main thing. It's just taking a little bit of time. And anyway, I want to talk about a little thing that somebody actually sent me a really good request. Actually, I don't think it was a question. It was more of a request. So they said, hey, everybody's talking about, worming your chickens, ducks, quails, worming your flock, okay? How did they do it back in the ancient times? And it's kind of cool because we're kind of on a little bit of a history kick here, a little historical talking segment, I guess, on these podcast shows until I can get back out and say, hey, here's the flock, here I am, I'm okay, whatever. So it's kind of interesting. So I thought, hey, let's delve into that. Do a little bit of research, let's do a little bit of stuff, and let's just check out what they used to do back in the ancient times. So I guess we're going to kick it off. Welcome to the Crissy's Clucky Chronicles, also CrissyOShow.com. I'm your host, Crissy O Show. Yeah, we're going to talk about the dawn of pest control. How about that? So let's just start way back. We'll go ahead and kick it off. Jump right on into it, all right? Think about 3000 BC, ancient Egypt. Now, these folks, they were clever. Now, these clever folks were some of the first to domesticate chickens, from my understanding. And they noticed that there was some pesky mites, worms, pretty quickly on. So you got to picture this. Just picture this. Go with it, all right? Cleopatra's attendants might have been like brushing her hair with the one hand, waving a palm frond over the chicken coop with the other to shoo away mites.
What?
Well, maybe not, and maybe it didn't happen that way. But they did use natural remedies. They kind of used crushed herbs, think like garlic and thyme, to keep parasites at bay. So we do know from ancient research and all that ancient time stuff back then that garlic was a big deal way back then. Not just for mummies, but for keeping chicken blood unappetizing to mites. Now, they'd mix it into the feed or burn it near the coops to create like a fumigation effect. It's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
But they did do that. I still think, the Cleopatra thing is kind of funny. But yeah, they had chickens. So if we fast forward to ancient Greece, around 500 BC, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, as they call him, he wrote about parasites in birds. He suggested that farmers observe their flocks closely. There's so many people screaming about that all the time in today's modern times, but even him, Hippocrates, did that. So we know that they used vinegar, the tangy stuff, to clean coops and even rubbed it on chickens' legs to suffocate mites. Now, it wasn't perfect, but it did show that they were paying attention to their flock.
Yeah.
And we use vinegar today. How cool is that? In different ways, but we still use vinegar. In China, kind of around the same time, we were finding farmers were using wood ash dust baths. Now, chickens would roll in it, and it would smother lice and mites, kind of like the original spa day for hens. Now, I've talked to you guys about making your own wood ash. We make our own here and make our own coal and different things like that, and stuff that the chickens roll in and they actually benefit from and eat. So all of these ancient methods, it was all about observation and nature. There weren't any chemicals. It was just trial and error, basically. So what we gather from it, if your flock's scratching more than usual or laying fewer eggs, just take a page from the ancient book, y'all. Watch your birds close. Maybe try garlic mash in their feed or Vinegar coop scrub. Slow cost and lets you decide what feels right for your homestead. That's all up to you. Now I want to jump to the Middle Ages. We're going to talk about medieval madness and Renaissance remedies. So around 1000 whatever, European farmers were battling mites and worms with a mix of, well, superstition and smarts from what we gather. They believed evil spirits brought parasites, so they'd chant over the coop. Kind of funny to me, but anyway. They also got practical. They were using things like using sulfur powders they burned in the coops to kill the mites. Sulfur's strong smell was a natural repellent. And how it worked was it worked by dehydrating the tiny little pests that they saw. They'd also let chickens roam with herbs like wormwood, which we now know can deter internal parasites. So that's pretty interesting and cool, I think. Now, by the Renaissance period around 1500, things got a little bit more scientific. So folks like Leonardo da Vinci sketched chickens and noted their health, while herbalists experimented with different concoctions. Now, they'd mixed olive oil with crushed herbs to coat chickens' legs against scaly leg mites. Kind of like a medieval balm kind of thing, or ointment.
Ooh.
Now, it's a fun DIY you could try today. You can mix some olive oil with oregano or rosemary, rub it on, see if it helps. There's no guarantees, but you've done a little nod to history. That's what we're talking about. So with all that information, this particular era teaches us to blend tradition with curiosity, which we still do today. So now if you're into natural remedies, which I like natural remedies my own self for my own babies out there, sulfur or herb mixes, it might be worth a test run. Just keep an eye on your flock's reaction because every chicken's different. Now let's zoom on to the 1800s and the Industrial Revolution with the science where it kind of steps in a little bit. So chicken farming started to get bigger. So did the parasite problems. So in 1870, inventors created those clunky steam-powered incubators we talked about before on the previous vlog. So just imagine a chicken egg sauna. What? Just imagine it. It's kind of weird. But anyway, more birds just kind of crammed together. You got more mites, more worms. They just seem to thrive. So farmers, they turned to early pesticides like arsenic-based powders. Yeah, you know, right? But with that knowledge, it killed pests, but it also harmed the chickens too. So then they started using kerosene to coat legs for mites, which was super risky, not to mention smelly. I can't imagine doing that today. But anyway, we're talking about the Industrial Revolution, science, and they were just doing what we all do with our own flocks today, just experimenting, trying, seeing what works. Now, by the late 1800s, vets became, more advocating for coops and chickens. So as the vets began advocating for better coop hygiene, they were suggesting lime washing walls to kill mites hiding in cracks. And it's a cheap trick you can still do. You can slather some hydrated lime on your coop walls and let it dry. It's abrasive to parasites, but safe once it's cured in. So just make sure it's dry. Now, this period that we're talking about all this, it just shows us the shift to science, but also the dangers of over-relying on harsh chemicals. Maybe if you want to try lime washing, see if it fits your flock care routine, you can. I know a lot of us in different types of homesteads and farming and farmsteads and backyard enthusiast situations, we do use lime. It's fairly safe if you're using it correctly. So there's your little historical tidbit. Now, moving on, we got 20th century chemicals and caution parts of history. So, the 1900s brought a parasite fighting boom, if you will. In the 1940s, DDT hit the scene. Oh, yeah. That infamous insecticide, DDT. You've heard that term before. Now, it wiped out mites and lice, but later it got banned for harming wildlife and humans. Lesson learned. Powerful tools need careful use. Anyway, then came ivermectin in the 1980s. It was a game changer for worms. It's still used today, but vets also warn about overdoing it because worms can build resistance if you dose too often. That's true with any kind of medication or anything that you're using. Things build up tolerance and resistance to it. That's why it's important to watch your flock, watch your flock, watch your flock. Now, natural options, they also grew popular. So now you've got DE, diatomaceous earth. Don't ask me to spell it. I have to look at it. But diatomaceous earth is like fossilized algae powders. It became a hit for dusting coops and chickens. I still use it today. What it does is it cuts into mites' exoskeletons and it dehydrates them. Some swear by it, others say it's hit or miss. It's up to you. You can try sprinkling like the food grade, poultry, barn, farm, whatever safe diatomaceous earth in your nesting boxes and kind of watch your flock's response. Mine love it. Mine absolutely roll in it. They thrive and they love it, and it does help us a lot. You also have apple cider vinegar, which made a comeback, and they mixed it into the water to boost immunity and deter internal parasites. That's a low-risk experiment. You maybe want to try that if you haven't already added it, to your watering devices that you're watering your flock with. We use it. I like it. Results pretty good for us, so that's up to you. But just know that the century here that we're talking about, it highlights choice, which we all want a choice to be able to do what we want to do, how we want to do it, and what reacts, better with our flock and our homestead and works best for us. So you got chemicals like ivermectin, they work fast, but, you might need vet guidance with it. You might not. I don't know what you do. I just know what we do. And I tend to seek vet guidance. So whatever. You got natural stuff like diatomaceous earth or vinegar. It lets you go a little slower. But either way, it's perfect for deciding what suits your lifestyle, your homestead, your farm, whatever. Whatever suits you best, Moving on to modern day informed choices. Today in 2025, it seems like we got it all. Maybe. You got synthetic treatments like the fluoroliner, the one-day water additive. It targets mites with no egg withdrawal. It's huge for egg-laying folks. And you got that fenbendazole. It tackles worms every few months. But vets suggest fecal tests to avoid unnecessary dosing with that. And you got resistance. That's a real concern. So when you rotate treatment, it just makes you a little bit smarter, I guess. You can understand what you're doing so you're not overdoing one thing with your flock. And then you've got natural fans and natural people, and I like this too. I like all types of methods, but they love herbs, garlic, thyme, pumpkin seeds. That's still pretty vogue. And it's backed by, some studies, and it shows parasite deterrence. So there you go. Coop sanitation's non-negotiable. You got to have clean litter, dry floors, and, control the pests and try to keep them at bay. You got your dust baths with wood ash or sand. That's a chicken's favorite for self-care against mites. They do their part as well. So you got to ask yourself, what's your move? If your hens are like lethargic or have pale combs, you got to check for mites or worms. If you want to do a vet test, that can confirm it. And then you choose like whatever you want. You got chemicals or gradual naturals. It's up to you. Just rotate your treatments. Keep your coops as clean as you can keep them. Trust your observations on your flock, because every flock's unique. You got to tailor what you need to do to yours. I don't know your flock, and you don't really know mine. You see mine, but you don't really know because you're not here every day with us helping them.
Yeah.
So you got all these good options and things that you can choose for yourself. You ain't got to get bullied into something just because you see it on social media or whatever. Make your own decision. Anyway, before we wrap all this up, I want to do a quick little shout out here. I want you guys to be part of our subscriber goal giveaway. We're not going to just choose one person. We're going to choose you all. And here's what you got to do to win the recipe ebook. You got to head on over to CrissyOshow.com. That's our website. Sign up for the monthly email list. Just subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel here. Right now, we're at about 1,155 subs. But when we hit the 1,500 subscriber goal, I'm going to send out the free recipe ebook all about eggs. That's going to be to everybody who signed up. You got to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you got to be on the monthly email list. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. You have to buy it when it hits the store. Okay? There you go. Plus, when you go to the website, we've got all kinds of great information. Pictures, photos, backstories on the flock. We've got affiliate links on the website to shop for your farm, homestead, or whatever. And anytime you click on those pictures and it takes you to the shop and you do buy something, it supports all of my floofs outside, and it helps my family, and it keeps the Clucky train rolling. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So thanks for joining me, and I'm going to see y'all next time. It is raining outside because I can hear it outside here in my window. Anyway, I want to cluck you guys later. I heart y'all great big. And remember, if you can't be good, y'all, I guess just be good at it.